Good day to you and welcome to our 5 best open face helmets video for 2025. In this video I'm going to be telling you some of the pros and cons of all of these 5 open face lids and some of the advantages and disadvantages of riding with an open face helmet in general. So off we go! Open face helmets are typically the lightest helmets available, and they also offer the best viewing angles. The visor port will be wide like it will be on most modern helmets, but in the event of looking up and down there's virtually no limitations because the chin bar is completely missing, means you can see all the way down, and it gives people the best kind of freedom feeling when riding. Now that feeling of freedom, the wide viewing angles, and of course the weight of the helmets are some of the biggest advantages to getting an open face helmet. One of the largest disadvantages, however, is of course that you are missing the chin bar completely, which means that you will be less protected. If you get a full face helmet, you will have the best possible protection. If you get a modular helmet, you will be somewhere in the middle, depending of course if you've got the chin bar up or down, but even then it's not a solid piece as it will be on a full face helmet, so the protection will always be slightly compromised. And with an open face helmet, of course, the protection is completely missing. So that's something worth noting when looking for a new helmet. Now, all of that aside, let's take a look individually at the HJC V31, the Arai SZ-R EVO, the Shoei J-Cruise 3, the Schuberth J2, and the Scorpion Belfast Carbon EVO.
The design of this helmet takes us back in time to a simpler, beautiful time. The HJC V31.
Now this helmet is what we consider a retro helmet by today's standards, but back in the day, pretty much all of the open face helmets will have looked a little bit like this. Maybe a little bit less refined, a little bit less comfortable, and probably less protective as well, but pretty much with this look. Now this comfortable oval shaped helmet is pretty much what you see is what you get. This is what you get and this is what you see. The shell is something you can't see. Well, you can see it, but you don't know what it's made out of. But I'm going to tell you because it's a fiberglass composite outer shell, comes in 3 different shell sizes. And apart from that, there's not many things to say about the helmet. One thing that is useful is the strap on the back, which you can use for goggles. At first when I saw it, I thought this was a magnet, but it's actually just a snap. So magnet might be cool next time, but this works as well. And on the front, obviously, we have the 3 snaps to add a peak if you want to. It's not included, but you can get one, of course, separately, a universal one. Now, the helmet has one fairly unique feature that we don't see a lot, and that is that the internal visor is adjustable in the height. Now, this feature has probably been copied a little bit from the Shoei J2 helmet, which is no longer in production. We're hoping there'll be a new one soon because it was a great helmet, but it has this little plastic part at the side on both ends, and with a little bit of jiggery pokery you can adjust this and it brings the visor down less. So if it just suits your liking to have it up a bit more like this, or if you have a fairly large nose, then it might be better to do it like this. Like I said, you can adjust it, and I think it's in 3 notches if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, yeah, 3. So there is a fair bit of adjustability in the visor. The visor itself, of course, is a dark smoke visor, which is very nice. You don't have to wear sunglasses, but you still can. The interior is, of course, removable, washable, and the helmet weighs around 1100 grams, so it's fairly lightweight.
The Arai SZ-R EVO is a beautiful helmet with intermediate oval fit and a pin lock included.
What a massive difference with the previous helmet. The Arai SZ-R EVO is definitely a touring helmet. It has all the functions you would expect from an Arai helmet. It's very comfortable, of course. It's prepared for a communication system, the double D chin strap rings, but something that's very special about this helmet is that the ventilation on top is almost identical to that of its bigger brother, the track helmet, which is used quite a lot on the road as well, the RX-7V EVO. It literally is almost identical. The only thing that seems to be different is that the spoiler on the back is not adjustable as it is on the RX-7V, and I think the vent placement here is slightly different, but apart from that it's pretty much the same. So if you imagine this thing had a chin bar, it would be the RX-7V EVO. Now, a massive advantage of this helmet compared to the HJC we just saw is the big visor, because to have a big visor like this means that you can go at a higher speed and there'll be no bugs in your face, there'll be no wind in your face, and it will keep out a fair bit of noise, although Arai helmets are not known to be the quietest of helmets. This helmet will serve you very well, and the outer shell is made from a fiberglass composite, a very strong outer shell. It has the R75 shape. Of course, as you would expect from Arai, they always try and make the safest possible helmet, and that means the roundest possible helmet. So all of these parts here, the ventilation here, everything is designed to fly off as it's taped on in the event of a crash, leaving you with no parts on the helmet that can snag on the road or anything like that, so it should be the safest possible shape. It comes in 3 different shell sizes. It's not the lightest of helmets. It weighs 1450 grams in the smallest shell size, but this helmet is definitely worth checking out if you want a serious touring helmet without a chin bar.
This next helmet comes prepared for a pinlock, has an intermediate oval shape, and a very extensive preparation for a communication system.
Now, similar to the way that the Arai helmet looks like its bigger brother, well, so does the Shoei J-Cruise 3. Basically, this is a full face helmet without a chin bar, which is what you would expect, but the sporty character of Shoei's full face helmets have definitely translated into this open face one, and I do like the look. It's almost a bit aggressive, but it looks very sporty and very cool. Ventilation wise, of course, 3 sliders on the top, as with the Arai helmet, the outlet on the back, and you won't need anything on the front because all you have to do is lift the visor and you will have plenty of fresh air right in your face. Something very different to the Arai helmet is that the Shoei helmet has a sun visor and it is prepared for the SRL3 mesh system. Not that the Arai helmet is not prepared, but it's not prepared for a specific system. It is universally prepared, and you can definitely install whatever type of system you want in there. Same goes for this helmet. If you don't want to use the scenic system, you can of course install a universal system, albeit with a little bit more fidgeting. Furthermore, this helmet has a stainless steel ratchet chin strap, which I like very much, and it is also eligible for the Shoei Personal Fitting System, which allows us to measure your head in 4 different ways, enter all the data into Shoei's computer system, generate alternate fittings for the helmet, and then try out those fittings to make the helmet fit your head perfectly. The helmet weighs 1400 grams in the smallest shell size, comes in 3 different shell sizes, and is made from Shoei's AIM material, which is the Advanced Integrated Matrix.
Very, very lightweight, very, very beautiful, and very, very authentic. The Scorpion Belfast Carbon EVO.
And now we're heading back in time again with the Scorpion Belfast Carbon EVO helmet. A helmet that looks like the HJC, of course. It is slightly different in its styling, but the biggest difference between those two right now is that this one has a full carbon outer shell, comes in 2 shell sizes, and it is by far the lightest helmet in the lineup, weighing only 950 grams in the smallest shell size, and it gives you a big surprise when you lift the helmet up because you really go, huh? That light? It is very light. With its oval fit and of course its lovely old-fashioned design, which, let's face it, is what you're looking for if you want a retro helmet. It's a lovely helmet, weighs very little. It does have the ratchet instead of the D-rings like on the HJC helmet. That's a little bit less reminiscent of the old days. Then again, it is fairly convenient and a lot of people like this and prefer it over the D-rings. Myself, I'm a big fan of the D-rings because your helmet's always fitting tightly. It's never bulky, you never have any plastic parts. I just find it to be the most pleasant system, but everybody has their preferences. Of course, this helmet also has an internal sun visor installed, and it is prepared for a universal communication system. It has the snaps on the front, it has the snap on the back for the goggles. So basically a lovely, very light helmet that will take you back in time, and it just looks really cool.
The Schuberth J2 has pinlock preparation, an intermediate oval fit, a very extensive and special communication system, and a chin bar?
I know what you're thinking. What is this? Well, it's the Schuberth J2. But I thought you said there were open face helmets. Yeah, it is. It just has a removable chin part. Ah, very interesting. This is something we don't see a lot on helmets. In fact, one of the only helmets like this that I can think of is a Nolan helmet. Many helmets don't do this, and if they do this, the chin part often is not rated as a protective piece. And in this case, it is PJ homologated, which means that you can use the helmet with or without the chin part, and it will be road legal in both cases. That means this is a protective chin part, so that's great. Removing the chin part is fairly easy. You just have to lift up these sleeves on both sides, and then you can lift up the chin part and remove it like so. Store it in your bag or under your seat or whatever, and you have a full open face helmet. Now, the chin part, of course, is one of the major features of this helmet, but the other things that are worth mentioning, of course, it has a sun visor, can be operated on the left side, has a little switch, as does the Schuberth C5 helmet. If you move the switch to one side, it will come down a little bit less far and thus not bang on your possibly larger than average nose. The visor on the outside moves freely. It's very sturdy and very stiff. The only time it clicks into place is at the top or at the bottom. I find it to be a very smooth visor, and it does feel strong, so I think this mechanism will hold up even when you're riding higher than average speed. Feels very nice. Now, another thing that's very special about the Schuberth J2 helmet, if you're a fan of Schuberth or familiar with their helmets, you will know that they do quite a lot with communication, and this helmet is prepared for the SC2 systems. Systems, I say, because there are now two. The SC2, which is the mesh Cerner system, and the SC2 standard, which is based on a 4-rider intercom system, which is slightly cheaper. Not only does this system have a Cerner preparation though, there is now also the SC Edge, which is based on the Cardo PackTalk Edge system. So there'll be no more of that, why did they use Cerner, why did they use Cardo? They didn't. They used both. All of the rest of the system has been pre-installed, and I mean the speakers, the wiring. All you have to do is click on the remote, the battery pack, and install the microphone on the inside, and you are ready to go. Apart from that, the helmet has the Schuberth individual program, which means certain parts of the padding can be switched out, a little bit like the Shoei Personal Fitting System, but not in the way that we measure your head and use a computer system to work out the data. Overall, very complete helmet, ventilation in 2 notches on the top, and there is a vent outlet on the back of the helmet at the bottom under the neck roll over there. Very nice complete helmet, and with this part, the chin part, it just makes it a very special and unique lid, so definitely worth a look if you're looking for a new touring helmet with an open face, or maybe not. Well, that's all folks, the 5 best open face helmets according to us for 2025. Thank you very much for watching the video. I hope that you enjoyed it and now have a better idea of which one could be the best one for you. If you have any unanswered questions, drop them in the comments below and we will get back to you as soon as we can. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button and of course the thumbs up button to make me, everybody else and the monkey on my shoulder very, very happy. We'd love to see you in one of our shops, but if you can't come down there, check out the website photomoto.com where we have the best prices, great service and of course worldwide shipping, and I'd love to see you at the next one. Thank you very much and cheerio.